Hello and welcome to Plymouth University's Virtual Open Day, and this talk is for the marine biology courses. I am Dr. Kerry Howell, that's a picture of me there, and I'm one of the teaching staff on the marine biology programmes. So I'm just going to spend about 25 minutes giving you a bit of an overview of the marine biology courses. So we're going to go over what's special about marine biology at Plymouth. Why would you even want to come to Plymouth? What's our ethos? We'll talk a little bit about course structure. I'm going to go over some of our graduate opportunities and what some of our graduates have gone on to do following their degree. We'll hear some words from our external examiners and then see what's next. So why come to Plymouth? Well, I think the photograph says it all. We have a really great range of natural habitats right on our doorstep, and you can walk down to the shore from the university, and our marine station is actually sited on the shore in Plymouth Sound. So it's a fantastic place to get really easy access to marine habitats and marine systems. And perhaps because of this rich range of habitats that we have, Plymouth is actually a centre of world-leading expertise in marine biology. So there are a number of institutions within the city that are all focused on understanding the marine environment and also communicating that understanding to the public. So we have the University of Plymouth, and that's us, but we also have the National Marine Aquarium, which is down in the Barbican, and that's really concerned with conservation of the marine environment and educating the public about the fantastic UK marine ecosystems. We also have the Marine Biological Association here in Plymouth. It's one of the oldest marine research laboratories in Europe, and they do a huge amount of really excellent research and also education and outreach with the public. We also have the Diving Diseases Research Centre, which is a specialist facility up at Derriford Hospital. And then we have Plymouth Marine Laboratory, which is a research laboratory focused on addressing all kinds of problems in the marine environment related to climate change and ocean acidification and many other things. And then the Marine Institute is the marine section of Plymouth University. So that's all things marine, and it ranges right through from marine law and business all the way through to ecology and biology and the sorts of things we're interested in here today, and also things like navigation. So we have this real hub of expertise within Plymouth. So it's a bit corny, but does your voyage start here? Plymouth, of course, has a huge historical connection to the ocean as well. Many of the famous expeditions have left from Plymouth as their starting point, and Charles Darwin famously visited here with the Beagle before he left on his voyage around the world. So does your voyage start here as well? So let me tell you a little bit about our 3 marine biology programmes. So the one that we call marine biology is really focused on the biology of marine organisms. So it has quite a lot of physiology within it and deals with things at the organismal level. Then we have a degree that we call marine biology and oceanography, and that's really very ecology focused. It's about why animals are where they are and how they live, and it has a very much more offshore focus. So away from the coast, that open ocean environment, that deep sea environment, and because of that, it has quite a lot of content that deals with oceanography as well, because you can't really understand why organisms are where they are and how they behave without understanding something about the ocean itself. And then we have the other degree that we call marine biology and coastal ecology, and this again is quite ecologically focused. It has a strong conservation element within it, and it's very focused on the coastal environment and even into estuaries and riverine systems. So all 3 of these degrees are marine biology, and all 3 of them could be called marine biology. But marine biology is a massive subject, and so what we have done is devise 3 different degrees that each cover a different aspect of marine biology. And so maybe you need to think about which is the aspect of marine biology that I'm most interested in. But we're not only a teaching university, of course, we're also a research-focused university, and our staff are all engaged in the cutting-edge issues and the challenges facing our ocean today. So things like climate change and ocean acidification are real serious threats to our marine environment, and we are undertaking research to help us understand what the outcomes are going to be and what's going to happen in the future as a result of climate change. We deal with other issues as well, such as deep sea mining, also fishing, and perhaps you might be familiar with the work of Professor Richard Thompson, which has been on looking at the problem of plastic pollution in the oceans, and I think there's been a lot of coverage of that lately. Our ethos at Plymouth University is one of research-informed teaching. So all the people who are engaged in teaching on the courses are all active researchers. We don't differentiate between teaching staff and research staff. Everyone teaches and everyone researches as well. And we encourage our students to ask questions and to really engage with being a scientist, which in itself is all about asking questions. And we bring our research into our teaching and make sure that our students are on the cutting edge of knowledge by the time they reach the third year and are well up to date with the latest in the scientific research. The other thing that we can offer then is our state-of-the-art facilities. We are a very well equipped university in terms of our marine research capabilities and our marine teaching capabilities. We have a marine station, which is down in the Barbican area, and that building is a really, really valuable tool. You can see it there in the bottom left of the images that you can see. It's a really important facility for us and our students who have some of their teaching down there and are able to easily access our vessels, our boats. You can see one of our boats there. We have a number of boats. Our diving facility is all down in that station. And we also have well-equipped labs down there that the students will be taught in. We also have a marine building which includes huge wave tanks and flumes, and while the students don't necessarily use the wave tanks themselves, they certainly make use of the flumes in some of their practical work and understanding how organisms move in certain currents. And we have our boats, as I've already mentioned as well. But we also have a lot of field-based equipment, so we have things like trawls and remotely operated vehicles, so this is underwater robots. We have grabs, we have conductivity, temperature, depth sensors, all sorts of marine equipment and instrumentation. And we also have a lot of lab-based facilities as well, so molecular facilities for doing genetic work, electron microscopy, 3D printing. So we're a well-equipped university, and all of that equipment is available to the students for use as part of their teaching and also part of their own final year projects that they undertake. Let's take a look at the course structure, which is common across all three of our programs. There are 6 modules in a year, 3 per semester. We have increasing specialism across the 3 years of the programme. So first year is common to all 3 of the programmes. In second year, you start to take on a flavour of the particular degree programme you've chosen. And then in third year, the programmes diverge even more with that increasing level of specialism in the particular area of marine biology you've chosen. On all 3 of the programmes, there are a wide choice of optional modules that you can choose from to help shape your own degree programme. And you can look on our website, the link is there on the screen below, to go and learn more about what those optional choices are and take a look at the difference between the 3 programmes. On all of the programmes, we have lots of hands-on experience, including a lot of lab work and field work and analytical experience, really helping to develop your skill set. And that development of your skill set is progressive. So each year we build on the skills that we've taught you in the previous year to really bring you up to being a practicing marine biologist. For all of the programmes, there is the option of a placement between years 2 and 3, and I will tell you a bit more about that later in this talk. And on all of the programmes, we use innovative teaching and assessment methods. So it's not all about just exams and essays. We have other ways of assessing whether you've understood what we've taught you. So things like giving oral presentations, writing reports, holding workshops, and many other different ways of teaching and assessing. So let's look at the first year of your degree. When you come into the degree programme, you spend the first 4 weeks really immersed in the subject of marine biology. So we get you going out on the boats, we get you out on the rocky shore, we give you a great introduction to the marine environment and introduce you to the different marine systems that we have. We also then teach you some key subjects following that to underpin your degree programme. This serves to develop your skills in marine biology, and there's a specific module where we target skills like statistics as well as your field-based skills and your lab-based skills. And then at the end of first year, we have a residential field course over in France, where we take the entire 3 degrees cohort of first years over to France on the boat that leaves from Plymouth itself, goes over to Roscoff, and we spend some time over there looking at a variety of marine systems. For all our degree programmes, we have an academic support system, so you will be allocated a personal tutor, which is a member of the teaching staff, and they will be your tutor for the whole of your degree programme, and a person whom you can touch base with and who you'll meet regularly with, particularly in first year when you're just finding your feet. We have small group tutorials and also one-to-one meetings, so you can talk more privately with your tutor if you need to. We offer a wide range of learning support and development resources through the library, for example, and we also have this system called Peer Assisted Learning Scheme, so PALS, in year 1. And this is where some of our second years who have some specialist training are able to assist our first years in understanding some of the material that they've been given in first year and go into that in more depth. And we find this a really great system because the second years have been through the system in the previous year, and they're able to then pass that support back to the first years, and also creates a nice learning environment and more familial cohort. So in year 2, then you will have some core modules that underpin your degree that you will have to do. And then we have a choice of modules that you were able to make some optional choices there. There's an intermediate level of specialisation then in second year, so the 3 degree programmes start to deviate from one another and become a little bit more specialised in the areas that the degrees are focused on. And then we further upskill you on things that you have learned in first year, and we will expand upon then in the second year. I've mentioned there's a wide range of optional modules, and then each of the degree programmes has a bespoke field course then, where the skills developed on that degree programme can be honed further. Each of the degree programmes also has a methods module, which is common across all of them, and this is where we give you additional training in these really critical field and lab skills that are required to be a marine biologist. Let's take a little look at the field courses then. So each of our degree programmes, as I've mentioned, in the second year has its own bespoke field course. And for marine biology, it is the experimental marine biology module. For marine and coastal ecology, it's the coastal biodiversity and ecology module. And for marine biology and oceanography, we have a biological oceanography field course module. So on the marine biology and oceanography degree, we take the students over to a marine station in Sweden, where we spend the week at this site exploring the fauna of the fjordic system there. The students all get to go out on this rather large research vessel that you can see. So we all go out on that together, and we undertake field sampling using things like trawls and grabs. And then we bring the animals back into the lab, and then we spend afternoons and evenings learning how to identify species, processing that material and honing our skills in the identification of marine organisms. We also learn a little bit about oceanographic equipment. You can see the photograph there of us looking at echo sounders, one of the students looking at echo sounders. And the reason we go to Sweden is because this degree is focused on the more offshore marine environment. And so by going to Sweden to a fjordic environment, we can get over very deep water very quickly and easily, and it enables us to show the students the sorts of animals you get in the non-coastal environment. If we look now at the Marine Biology and Coastal Ecology degree programme, their field course in second year is to the West Coast National Park in the Western Cape of South Africa. And the reason the students go here is because this is a really highly biodiverse region. It's a biodiversity hotspot globally, and it enables the students to encounter a huge range of species, both coastal and marine and freshwater. And they are able to spend the week there then asking questions about the biodiversity of this region, undertaking survey work, and learning a bit more about those incredible coastal environments. For the Marine Biology programme, their field course in second year goes to the Algarve in Portugal, where they spend a week working on the shores in the area and really doing some experimental work to understand the biology of the marine organisms in this area and asking questions about why things are as they are and how have they adapted to their environment. As I already mentioned earlier, each of our degree programmes offers students the opportunity to undertake a placement year between stages 2 and 3. This is where the students are able to go off to other organisations in industry, academia, governments or NGOs, and experience what it is to be a working marine biologist. I should say that placement opportunities are not something that everybody wants to do. And the beauty about Plymouth is that actually our students are able to get experience of working as a marine biologist through volunteering at some of those marine laboratories I mentioned that are based here in Plymouth. I mentioned that at the start of the talk. And so this is another benefit to being in Plymouth, is that there are lots of opportunities for our students here locally in the city, as well as this placement opportunity if they wish to take that. It also gives the students an opportunity to travel for those who wish to travel, who take this placement year. One of the placement opportunities we offer, though, is the Ocean Giants Trust Scholarship. So we have 5 scholarships per year, where some of our students are able to go and work with one of 4 charities based in locations such as Mexico, Mozambique, the Philippines and Tanzania. And they can volunteer with these different charities as their placement option and get to experience working with some wonderful marine organisms, these ocean giants. Moving on to the final year then, where our students are at the cutting edge of our knowledge. So the textbooks are out of the window and you're being taught the very latest in marine research. And this comes back to our ethos around research-informed teaching. We have a range of optional specialist modules on the 3 degree programmes that enable the students to really shape their degree and pursue their special areas of interest. In the final year, we have our personal research project, which is a really major part of the final year, and I'll say something more about that in a moment. For this, you have one-to-one supervision, and some of our research projects that our students undertake are so good, they end up actually being published as pieces of scientific research. The final year involves a lot of independent learning, and we reinforce many of the employability skills that are built into the degree programme over the whole 3 years. And as always with our degree programmes, the coursework is varied and innovative to keep our students really engaged and also to give them that range of transferable skills that are required in the working world. As I mentioned, some of our students' final year research projects are really impressive. So your final year research project is where you get to really pursue some research in an area that you find interesting. So you get to decide what you want to study, and we support you as a research project advisor. A member of staff will be there to support you. It's very much a student-led activity, and our students really do produce some excellent research. And for some of those students, that research ends up actually being published as pieces of scientific research in what we call the peer-reviewed literature. Now, I just want to stress how difficult that is and what an absolute testament to the brilliance of our students that is. Publishing a piece of scientific research is really difficult. You have to do some rigorous research, which you then write up. That submission is then made to a journal to ask if they will publish it, and they send it to other world-leading scientists across the globe, who will then spend some time pulling it apart and working out whether there's problems with it, whether it's any good, whether it should even be out there as a piece of science. And then that comes back, and it's either then accepted for publication because it's good enough, or it's rejected. And the fact that our students are able to produce research, and their names are first, so they're leading this research, and have it published in the peer-reviewed literature is something we are exceptionally proud of. So here are some examples of some of our latest students to do this. And we have a few students every year who reach this level. Some of our graduates are recognised for their various achievements upon graduating from our programmes. So Davis Launden, who was a marine biology graduate in 2017, he's currently doing a PhD at the Marine Biological Association here in Plymouth. He was the winner of the Sir Howard Dalton Young Microbiologist of the Year competition. Vicky Slate, who left us quite a few years ago now, actually, she actually took her undergraduate research to Parliament to help influence policy development on microplastics. And she was highly commended, is now a postdoctoral researcher at Cambridge University. May Doricott, who graduated in 2016, was awarded the Rolex Our World Underwater Society Scholarship for her work. And our graduates find their way into many different career paths. So here are some examples. I won't talk you through them all, you can have a look yourself, but our graduates may work for government agencies like British Antarctic Survey, CFAS, the Environment Agency, Marine Scotland. They may go into education and outreach, working for museums or other universities, or they may go into environmental consultancy, and we have people working in offshore wind and renewable energy projects, as well as geotechnical engineering. Or they may well go on to work in academia as lecturers and researchers themselves, and we have a number of examples of students who have done this over the years. Also, we have students who go into the biotechnology industry, and our students are equipped with skills to enable them to go to work in many different scientific industries coming off of our degree programmes. Some of our graduates have actually gone into media and science communication, and hopefully you'll recognise a few faces here from the television. These guys are all graduates from our marine biology programmes and have done really great work in communicating science to the public. So I can sit here and wax lyrical about how brilliant I think our degree programmes are, and I hope I've shown you some evidence to justify that. But here's some other evidence from our external examiners. So all degree programmes across the UK have an external examiner system whereby another lecturer from another university will come in and look at the quality of the work. They look at examples of students' work and make sure that standards are being maintained, and that a first-class degree from one university is equivalent to a first-class degree from another university. So our external examiner, one of our former external examiners, was from Newcastle University, and he had this to say about our degrees in his feedback. Your students are absolutely fantastic. The quality of projects is especially impressive. You have a very good balance of coursework and assessments. I'm really impressed with the standards. Another of our external examiners, a former one, was from the University of York, so Professor David Raffaelli, and he had this to say about our graduates. I'm always meeting Plymouth graduates. They wax lyrical about their experiences with you. There is clear daylight between you and other courses. You have extremely student-centred, research-based teaching. My advice to students, if you want the best experience of field-based marine biology, go to Plymouth. So the question then is Plymouth right for you? Well, I think you have to consider all the different elements that we've been through today. The location. Do you like where we are? Do you like the southwest and the access to the shores and the beach and the marine environment? We have a compact campus. So our campus is all based in the city with easy access to shops and also living accommodation. And that's a real bonus for some. We have dedicated and friendly staff. I guess you haven't met us because this is a virtual open day, but you'll have to take my word for it. We're all pretty friendly here. We have great facilities. We have boats. We have the marine station, which is really our jewel in our crown. We have extensive fieldwork and practical sessions, as well as lab-based sessions, really honing those skills in being a marine biologist. And if you take a look on the independent websites that look at student satisfaction rates, then you can see that our students are really satisfied. They really do enjoy our degree programs, and hopefully you'll get the chance to speak to some of them yourself. And I hope I've shown you that our students really do achieve and go on to have careers in marine biology. I think that's it from me. So thank you very much for your time, and we hope to see you here soon.